Alright, hello and welcome to Let's Play yet another No Name MAME game. Today's No Name MAME game is Hatch Cash, presented by Semicon. Not a very illustrative title screen, but you'll catch on to the mechanics pretty darn soon. So basically, it's Puzzle Bobble with catch or break 3 mechanics. It doesn't sound all that. I mean, when you explain it like that, it sounds so simple. It's like, how could you not have made this? But no, it's interesting, to say the least. I very briefly experimented with the mechanics. So the first button is to shoot your blocks. The second button is to switch between the two blocks, which works actually very nicely because you only have 2 colors to switch from anyway, so yeah. And I mean, I'm really getting a Puzzle Bobble view, vibe from it, of course, but it really does feel like a little bit alien just because it's got the break 3 mechanics to it. Like, I mean, you do stuff like that, and you expect to be able to, like, follow it up with a combo or something in, like, any other game you would. But in this one, you just break them, and kind of weird. I mean, it's nice. I mean, you don't play arcade games to play the... Well, you don't go out and explore arcade games to play the same darn game over and over again, so that's pretty cool, but... I mean... It goes in the face of all tradition. How could you do it like this? Feels like a betrayal or something. So I'm assuming, of course, the object of the game is to clear this entire screen, which... I'd say easier said than done, but it's actually kind of easy either way. Although it doesn't seem to be doing the nice thing in Puzzle Bobble. So in Puzzle Bobble, when you ran out of... When you essentially only had like 2 or 3 pieces left, then it only gave you pieces of that color. And it made it very, very easy to clear a stage once you, like, essentially were all the way there. But... where have we heard this song before? I swear to God, it's some Sonic song, like Chemicals of Hillzone or something. I know it's not, but it feels like it. So it doesn't really do the thing where it's like you got 1 or 2 blocks left and then you clear it immediately. That being said, like, I don't know, because half the challenge of Puzzle Bobble was being able to actually hit where you wanted to hit. That was like most, if not all, of the skill in the game. And so when you do it in like this nice, easy break 3 format, I mean, it's relatively very forgiving. I mean, in fact, it even shows you a little arrow pointing exactly where it's gonna go. That's pretty nice. Although I do believe it's, like, impossible to make combos. In the sense that, like, a block will fall and then break something else. I guess combos come in the form of dropping blocks. I'm not sure. But man, this is kind of what happens when you mess with, game... Oh. Right, multicolored girls. But this is kind of what happens when you mess with gameplay mechanics that are, like, kind of tried and true, like, Puzzle Bobble. Granted, Puzzle Bobble may not have been so tried and true back then, but... Again with that, you tell me the difference. But sometimes you kind of mess with the, gameplay a bit too much. Like, this game, I mean, it's really easy. I mean, that's all you can say. I mean, they got rid of the, aiming mechanic, and it's like, as soon as you have perfect aim in a Puzzle Bobble game, it's the easiest game in the world. In fact, one of the power-ups in most of the game series is a little aimer icon that lets you aim. And so once you have that, then the game becomes trivial almost. So... I mean, sometimes you create... a Dracula... No. What? I was gonna say sometimes you create a Frankenstein, sometimes you create something else, but... Which of those 2 monsters... Wait, okay. So Frankenstein's like an example of a monster that kind of went wrong, kind of rebelled against its creator and wanted to destroy all of humanity. What's like a monster that was good? That... I guess the Powerpuff Girls? Alright. Sometimes you create the Powerpuff Girls, sometimes you create a Frankenstein. That being said, I do kind of want to see where this game goes. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere too fast, but you never know. It's always a weird game's prerogative to throw in some sort of insanity here and there. Oh, alright, place your bets. Do you think I can clear it all? Yeah! So you can, so you can. I will admit, this game does have that nice visceral thrill of clearing a bunch of items. And also, too, it's getting slightly harder now that you're having to make little gambles and telling purple orbs from gray orbs. I can do that like a champ. But I mean, now you're kind of tempted with the gamble of, do I want to make a giant combo? Do I want to break it now and not die? It's just one of those things. Also, I believe it's speeding up just a teensy bit, so that's nice, I suppose. Oh, I guess it really wants me to break something. Can't quite tell what color it wanted me to break there. Kidding, it's in the 4 purple orbs in a row. Oh, actually, maybe it is doing that thing where, like, it only gives you the ones you really want at the end, when you've, like, all but one anyway. Wow. This game is just taking it even easier. Huh. I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be a hard game? I'm kind of trying to have trouble, because it's like, I guess you could maybe make the game hard by, like, spamming the area with blocks, but even then, it's not really that hard. You just kind of do something like this, where you, like, slowly but surely get rid of them. You can even, like, use brute force. Yeah. Maybe because the stage is so small, but it's not really small. You've got more than enough room to... Alright, now we're talking. Let's see if this is any harder. The catch is you're gonna have to break into that somehow. Well... never mind. Okay. Game's getting pretty hard, too. Wasn't expecting it, but, just out of left field, it got pretty hard. Oh, but... no! That's pretty funny. You, like, literally cannot make it to the blocks you're holding get in your way. It's a hilarious little touch. Also a hilarious little touch will be this game's ending screen. Game over, man. Game over. Oh, okay, I was about to say, little guy on the bottom, he was disappointing me. Oh! Awesome, check this out. I'm putting in a coin. I'm just adding in more unicorn coins. And it tells you how many coins you've added in. Does it go to 99? Onward to unicorn. Well, okay, I will admit, for as much as this game isn't too exciting otherwise, that is the coolest coin entry thing I have ever seen ever. Does it go any higher? No, it probably does, but... oh, that's pretty terrible. It keeps saying, like, it keeps making noise after you put in 99 coins, like, it's pretending like you're putting in more coins, but in actuality, it just goes back to 99, despite how many coins you may have put in. It's kind of tricky, and maybe a little evil, but it's neither here nor there. Dang. Alright. It's the little things in life, you know? You just gotta appreciate the little things. Small things that everyone else takes for granted, but you love the hell out of. That's what life is all about. So we may have outwitted this game by... well, not really doing anything, actually. Now that I think about it, we have not outwitted this game. It got a little bit harder, but then it got easier to compensate. I'm not really sure. I also kind of lucked out of the hard level. If you might notice, after it reset, then it went back to a much easier level. And this kind of reminds me of Hollywood in some sense. You're like just trying to chip away and make your big break, and then once you do, then suddenly you're an A-list superstar. And that's it. Oh! Now we're in space. You can tell, because spaceships look like this. I don't know. Oh, that is weird. So, if you remember in, Puzzle Bobble, then the blocks were, like, held up by other blocks. But in this one, it's like, if you break one block, then just all the blocks indiscriminately fall, even if they're being held up by other blocks. I don't know, I mean, it's just the little things that, like, make games really feel different. Like, if they're made by two different people, even if it's the same concept, there's still the chance that they'll feel really differently. Huh. Well, I mean, can't imagine it getting any more exciting after this. But we'll give it a go. One more stage, game. Show us your best stuff next. Well, I mean, it doesn't look all that hard, but, I think it's harder than it looks. Because, I mean, yeah, you can't really have the blocks fall and create more combos, so it's a little harder in that sense, but it's not ever drastically hard. Although, if you notice, they are, cutting back on the amount of time you have to, make combos, which would probably be a legitimate problem in any harder game, but, not this game. I could, like, clear this with my eyes closed. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call it quits, but, surprisingly delightful little puzzle game. And, I mean, an interesting take on the Bubble Bobble formula. I mean, I would never thought it would have worked, but I'm glad they tried it, just so I can see how it turns out. And I think with, like, a little tweaking, you could probably get more of the feel of Bubble Bobble, but, yeah. Kind of interesting. I mean, it's just, like, trying to reconcile the aim-based gameplay of Bubble Bobble with, like, the perfect precision of Break 3 games. It's not really something you think you could do, but whatever. I mean, definitely one of the easier puzzle games where, like, the mechanics are just mindlessly simple, but, I don't know, enjoyable in its own right. On that note, this cat's got a scat.